Everyone, welcome back to the Woodhead Railway Route, the railway line that was controversially closed in the early 1980s. 81, wasn't it? Most of the line was closed. A bit beyond Deepcar down to Sheffield, that was still operational up until about 3 years ago, I believe, for the steel works. We'll get onto that in part 4. Part 3, we're going to take a look at Rumtickle Viaduct. That's right behind me. You can just see the fencing just there, and also both of the Thurgoland Tunnels. It's quite a bit to see. So join me, part 3 of my walk from Dunford Bridge through to Deepcar as we look Thurgoland Tunnels and the Romtickle Viaduct. So we've already come from Dunford Bridge all the way through Penistone and on towards Romtickle Viaduct, where we are now. I'll be putting a drone up and around, and we'll take a look and talk a little bit about this 1844 built fine structure. It's got up to 3 different spellings for the name of this viaduct, and then we'll be pushing on through the newer, more modern single bore Thurgoland Tunnel, coming out the eastern portal before making our way into the abandoned original 1800s Thurgoland Tunnel right the way through. Once we've seen both tunnels, we'll push on just shy of Thurgoland Station, where then we'll pick up part 4 in a later episode. So at first glance on top, you can see it is not the original side fencing. That's been put up for safety because the stone walls appear to be very, very low, don't they? A lot lower than you'd normally see. So if you was a track worker, you probably would have maybe walked up on this concrete step section just here. But that'd have been a bit eerie, especially, look, there's actually bits missing. Some stonework has gone, or is that how it's supposed to be? I mean, it looks like it's broken away, but maybe that's how it was. We'll see if it steps up again, because on the other side you can see it is the same height, look. So on top of the viaduct, not really a great deal to see. You can clearly see it's a double track width, can't you? Both directions. So Romtickle Viaduct, that was built in 1844 from local faced Asher stone, and it opened in 1845, and it was engineered by Barnsley native Joseph Locke. It was built by the Sheffield, Ashton-under Line and Manchester Railway. The viaduct proudly spans the valley of the River Don, and it is spelt in such a way as Romtickle, Romtickle and Romtickle, as seems to be more common. Incidentally, the LNER plans from the 1940s also call it Romtickle with a P. So in addition to any of the drone footage that I'm showing you and I've managed to get, we can also walk below it. I'm sure there's a footpath down there. I hope there is anyway. Now I can try and follow this sketchy footpath down. There is a star at the top. I don't actually think you can get into the field. I think that's private land. But we'll have an opportunity to fly the drone, I'm sure. Look at the sheer scale of that embankment as well. Okay, it looks like that's probably the closest I'm going to get to it, because this is stone walled off. No access. So I'm not really interested in traipsing across there. So I'll go back up top and we'll fly the drone around a little bit. So that's a lovely bridge there, isn't it? Original structure quite possibly, or has it been risen a little bit? Thurgoland Tunnels both down there. The one on the left opening in 1845, and the single bore opened in 1954 until the 1981 or 83. So the reason that was built was because they couldn't get 2 tracks worth of electrical cables through the original double track tunnel. So effectively they made the double track one a single track tunnel and bored through the second tunnel so they could have bi-directional electric trains operating. Newer tunnel, It's got a keystone on there, British Rail 1948. Let's say trains ran through there a few years later, 1954. So the original one is down here, blocked off Western Portal. I think this was done a few decades ago now, not long after the railway line was closed. If I find out when this was actually blocked off, I will do. No keystone on this one by the looks of it, but I love those two stanchions on the left hand side of stonework, like hexagonal, aren't they? And the arch going over the top to create the tunnel. One panel is missing, looks like there's a rope hanging from that, so I think people may have been in at that end. That's lovely to see, isn't it? Let me update you on maps to show you exactly where we are and the alignment of the two tunnels, and also show you some photographs, hopefully, of trains going through it. Taking a look at the aerial Google imagery, you see where the tunnels go underground right here on the right and the left of this area that looks grassed off. You can see the two track beds just coming out either side. If we jump to the older map, you can see those track beds again. I believe this map is from 1965, and we've got both up and down lines popping out and popping into the tunnel on either side of that grassy mound. Not as old as most tunnels that you'd come across and walk through or pass through on a train. I think we should walk through now. Things like refuges are going to be potentially non-existent because I think it's been shotcreted all the way through. But sound reverberation, as you may have just noticed, is quite high and quite powerful. Now there will be sections in the roof just here where the cable carriers came down for the electrification. It's quite convenient, there's a light there. I'm trying not to get the glare on it. I do think I need the torch in here, but actually I do. So I've lit it up nicely, because if I take that away, look, it's quite dull. So I'll keep it on. Hopefully nobody's going to come the other way. There's another one of those hanging sections, look, for the overhead cables. But as I said, currently there are no refuges along this tunnel. As this project was begun in 1947, just before railway nationalisation to British Railways, each of the up tunnel portals host twin dates, with LNER 1947 and British Railways for 1948. But this concrete lined with masonry portal tunnel features a tighter curve and is slightly longer than its older neighbour at 339 yards, and it falls to the south on a gradient of 1 in 13. Another point, look, where there's potentially a signal mounting of some sort, and another one on the opposite side. So there's something there, isn't there? I mean, there's a bit of flickering on screen occasionally. It's these lights doing that, it's not the camera. We're about to come out the opposite side, look. There was around 70,000 tonnes of rock and earth excavated from this tunnel, with work being made from 1946 in the month of November. And although the Woodhead route closed in 1981, the Deepcar to Barnsley Junction section that we're walking currently, including the tunnel, survived until the 16th of May 1983. So leaving that one behind, we've got a stone wall to my left hand side. The other tunnel is just on the opposite side, the other track bed, and it used to join together just down here. So we'll have a look, see if we can still get around to that, and hopefully poke ourselves inside the tunnel too. So I've come around that stone wall, and there it is, it's on my left again, look, but we're walking the opposite way. And we've got the Thurgoland Tunnel portal, look, dead ahead. It is infilled, but there is also a gap. There we go, so I made it to the top of the infill. You can just make out on the right hand side there where there is stonework that must have gone in, stone brickwork, to block it off before all this soil and spoil was scooped up to block it off. And down in the bottom you see the infill and the gap. There's remains of the stone and brickwork there, look, which would have been the original wall to close it off. Same as the other side. Got a few remains there, look. But going forward, that's what we've got. So it is stonework to begin with, and then you've got like a ribbed section going around of blue brick, making the tunnel slightly narrower. Got the old cable carrier just there, look. And going forward, there's another one on the right, look. I should have brought my floodlight with me as well, but unfortunately didn't think I was going to come this far today. But at least we're in now. I'm probably better off taking some still photos. The original Thurgoland Tunnel has a length of 924 feet, that's 282 metres. It's a single bore and it carried 2 tracks and first opened in 1845, characterised by a curve of 60 chains. Because of the clearance problems the original construction caused for the planned LNER electrification, and because opening out was deemed too expensive, the 1948 single line tunnel that we've just walked through was built for the up line and the old line, and the tunnel that we're in now was converted to carry only the down line. It's got a nice curve to it, and I can just make out the other portal, the one we stood out of, which is bricked off, breeze blocked off with those metal panels on top. Quite a few of these in here. I've seen about a dozen of them now. Not sure what they are. Almost at the other end, look, it's about to straighten off. So if I turn you around, you can see the other portal in the distance, look. So I've started to come around the curve and it's straightening off. It's weird because when I was at the other end, it looked as though the curve was quite prominent. But now I'm stood near the other end, it doesn't look like it's so much of a curve. See what it looks like when I get to this portal. Some old sleepers there, look. Still got the track clips on there. 3 of them, and 4 if you count that one. Approaching the western portal now. See, the entrance I came in is actually fading now, so it's weird. When you stood in the middle, you kind of cannot see that bend, but it is quite prominent when you stand at either end. Another sleeper, some more of those concrete sections there. Something to do with electrification, surely. And here we come to the other portal. A couple of sections of old rail up there, look. Quite weird, sticking out of there. And that's it. We're at the other end. All that's to be seen is a load of stone and wood and ballast. So I'm going to make my way back to the other end where I came in. And it is right, look, you can't see the other portal when you're at this end. So it's just the same at both ends as it would be anyway. It was just a trick of the light and a trick of the eyes, I think. You can just see the other portal coming into view, look. There we go, safely out the other side. That was quite nice in there. I haven't done a tunnel since Dunford in Wales. I think that was July 2024. And that's a nice little, I don't do them very often because I think they all, unless they've got real character, they're all the same really. So, because that's part of the route, that's why I included it. Some remains of a bridge there, look, that's probably a farmland occupation bridge. There it is on the other side. More of those carriers, we've seen them all the way from Dunford Bridge back in part 1 and also in part 2 of this series. It's a beautiful stretch down here, tree lined countryside. I can hear birds, just can't hear any trains. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, gonna pass over the road down there, take you off to the village of Thurgoland. This is Coates Lane, C-O-T-E Lane. And down there is a very long right turn which will take us on towards Wortley Station and then onto Deepcar Station 2. There's still track down at Deepcar. Now I'm not going to go to any place I shouldn't do, but if I can get near the track, we'll talk about it. With that line closed when Stocksbridge steel plant stopped sending trains out, I think it was 2021 or 22. We'll confirm that in the next video. So until then, I shall see you soon. Now look forward to the next part of this series. Please like, subscribe and comment below. Social medias, follow me on Facebook. Thank you to all channel members, and you can also become a subscriber for special extra content on Facebook too. Links in the description. Bye for now.